everybody. I wanted to jump right into something that I started doing a while ago and that I want to try doing again. I want to share it with you. And that is to create an architecture project in a day. I'm going to start out with an idea, walk you through the process as I go, try to document it, and we'll see what we come up with. I had this kicking around in my closet. It's really nice. Just gonna roll with that. I got a little box of drafting tools. So I know that this is gonna be part of a public space. And I know that that public space is gonna exist in the space between buildings. In the city, when you come across something that surprises you, you take it upon yourself and see if that thing is worth your time. Could be other people, could be a lot of other people, could be the hustle and the bustle, it could be some lights. You might just be hungry. It takes some bravery to engage in that surprise, engage in what delights you. Is a reward for that risk, a reward for you going out on a limb to share yourself and your experience with the city. So right now I'm just drawing some lines. I'm not putting too much pressure on it. I'm going to use perspective and roughly sketch perspective as a means to get these ideas out. Since it is a pretty vivid image in my mind at this point, I want to make sure that I can just get it onto the paper. It may take a while for this thing to look like it's going to shape up into anything, and that's because I'm feeling it out as I'm drawing it. So I have a sense of what this thing should look like or feel like or what I'm trying to accomplish. But for the most part, I don't really know where this will head exactly. Pop. Start defining things a little bit better. Also help them read in this scan, because I'm going to be using an app on my phone. I also might use some gray tones to help fill out the background and foreground. For this, I really wanted to draw by hand, get these ideas out super quickly. Sometimes 3D modeling is the way to do it, but this I felt had a little bit more character. And it wasn't really well defined in my head when I began. So since I'm fleshing it out by hand, I feel like I may as well work by hand until I feel like I'm starting to define too much. Letting time escape me. You can spend forever on the details of a drawing. But what I want to capture is the function of the space and the character, potential character of the space. When you do this frequently, quickly get ideas out. You don't get married to them, which I think is super important. Helps you stay flexible, helps you solve problems more quickly when you're in the habit of getting them out on the paper, seeing what they look like, taking them as far as you can, and letting go if you need to.
The beginning of a new space transportation system. A craft that can carry up to 65,000 pounds into space and land back on Earth like an airplane. this energy through
So there it is with ink.
space, losing very little
Now I'm going to take it into the computer. Alright, so I've got the images scanned, bringing them into Photoshop, and I'm overlaying these on top of one another and trying to get the levels correct, try to get the image to look the way I need it to. And so I'm going to begin kind of picking out some textures. I had some things in mind about the quality of the buildings, the foreground, the background, and so I'm going to quickly fill in those textures to help frame the character of the space so I can get into more detail and see how those colors and tones and what the architecture looks like. So I'm choosing brick here because I'm imagining a sort of plaza. I didn't define the space very well with too many buildings, just drew the one building that I was sort of imagining as a repurposed old masonry building, maybe a factory building of some kind. And so I wanted this space to be a sort of watering hole, and a watering hole that was centered around the use of art. So I wanted to create some walls that would act as canvases for graffiti, and it would be invited. Graffiti would be welcomed, and people would enjoy the rough character of the space and feel free to tag it up. So I'm grabbing images from my sketchbook, and I'm grabbing images online that sort of align with what I'm envisioning and trying to just render that in quickly. I've kind of created a boundary with those three walls and some sort of raised seating, which I'm defining here with some oriented strand board or plywood. And yeah, I have a nice sort of seating area, which I think is one of the most important components of any good public space, is to have a place for people to sit down and rest, or, you know, ride their fixie on and off of. And so now I'm just getting into the detail, moving quickly and getting excited about how this thing looks, because there's some character and some quality now that was in my head that I couldn't really get down quickly with the pencil, but now that I'm in Photoshop, I work out little by little. So here's the finished product and some detailed shots. And I hope you enjoyed.